I mean, I guess better late than never on this one. I wanted to see it eventually. I finally got around to seeing it. So, I'm John Hayeck, and welcome to my movie thoughts. Ralph Breaks the Internet, or Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, whatever. It should have been called Ralph Breaks the Internet. Everybody said stuff about that, even the trailers at this point, so... Anyways, this movie's focused on Ralph, Wreck-It Ralph, if you will, from the Fix-It Felix video game. He and his friend Vanellope from the first Wreck-It Ralph, they're going into the internet because they need to find a piece to Vanellope's game. If they don't find it, her game could get unplugged, and she could be homeless forever, just wandering video games and the internet forever with not really a place to go or anything like that. So her and Ralph go into the internet. They're trying to find a way to make money, to buy the part that she needs. They're also exploring just other avenues of the internet and stuff in general. You have like a YouTube type space, you have a Twitter type space, you have a Disney type space that you see in the trailer of this movie. And overall, I think that this movie works. I really liked it. I would say it's on par with like Incredibles 2 for me at this point. I think my two favorite animated movies of the year have been Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and I Love Dogs. After that, we've got Incredibles 2 and Ralph Breaks the Internet, whatever. I'm even saying Ralph Breaks the Internet at this point. These four I thought were awesome. I really enjoyed them, but I do think Ralph Breaks the Internet is a little bit better than Incredibles 2 in that it just feels like it executes a very mature theme that was absent in Incredibles 2, which is that, like, are you content with doing the same thing forever? Do you want stability, or do you want to feel like you're being challenged? And I thought that was something very adult that I wasn't expecting to find in this movie. But the first Wreck-It Ralph I thought was great, questioning like morality, and are you destined to be bad, or are you destined to be good, or is there in between and everything? And I shouldn't have been so surprised knowing that the second one was coming out, that it had such a, it's not so similar, but similar in terms of its maturity of executing themes. So props to the entire team for making that come through. It hit me really early on in the movie, and then throughout the entire following run of the movie, I'm like, this goes back to that theme, and this goes back to the theme, and this is great, while also being a really cute little kids movie. I thought that the animation style was good in this movie, as well as in the first Wreck-It Ralph. Bringing in all the Disney princesses, as you've seen in the trailer, was really inventive. Bringing in other aspects of the internet were really well executed as well. Gal Gadot's character in the movie is great. I thought that the returning characters like Jane Lynch and Jack McBrayer from the first movie were also quite good. Voice cast overall does a pretty excellent job, to be honest. And I think that this movie, I think that overall, even though it does pose a very, like, fun adventure thing, I think that it does have a couple issues in that, first of all, it does feel a little episodic, like, okay, they get to the internet, and they go here, and then they need to go here, and then they need to go here, and then they need to go here. It feels very and, like, it isn't kind of, like, naturally strung together, and sometimes it needs to be, like, a little bit of a reach of, like, why they're going to this point and everything. It doesn't feel like as much a reach as the Emoji Movie did, where it was like, oh, yeah, now we're just going here so we can show you that we have, like, this, like, thing being product placement for us, and now we're going here so we can show you that we have the rights to do this and everything like that. Nowhere near that bad or anything, but sometimes just feel like, alright, like, it was a little bit of a leap getting here, and like, why are we going here next? And oh, okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but it could have been done a little bit more fluidly. Second thing is that I do think towards the third act of the movie, there's a conflict between the two lead characters that could have been played out a little bit more. I think throughout the movie, if it was more established and more fleshed out, then it would have been executed better. But the fact that it does kind of still resolve itself by the end of the third act, I think was good. And I think it resolved itself in a very realistic way, which I like. I think the entire conflict of the movie is based upon our two leads and how they kind of interact with each other. And if we had seen some of that conflict earlier on, I think it would have felt like it packed more of an emotional punch. But the fact that it didn't is fine, because again, it did still feel like you have an earned ending by the time you get to the conclusion of Ralph Breaks the Internet. I'm just going to keep calling it that at this point. So guys, I'll tell you this, Ralph Breaks the Internet, it's a movie that I think has a really fun adventure behind it. I think the use of the internet tropes are really great. All of the YouTube type parody things were really funny. I thought the Disney Adventure Place was really great. There are a couple Marvel characters that make appearances that I just thought were awesome, and other Disney anime characters, I just was delighted absolutely through and through with all of them. I think that there's a really great theme behind this movie that I think is important for both adults and kids to see. I think that this movie, it feels a little bit episodic in some ways, and that it's a little bit of a stretch getting from place to place, and that the conflict could have been brought up a little bit earlier in the film, maybe even by the midpoint instead of at the start of the third act. But besides those two flaws, I do think overall this is a very enjoyable movie that kids will like. I hope it gets nominated for Best Animated Feature of the Oscars, because it would absolutely deserve that nomination. I'm still salty that Wreck-It Ralph, the first one, didn't win Best Animated Feature Theater. It came out, it was way better than Brave. They have this great gag about Brave in this movie, by the way. But let me know all of your thoughts on Ralph Ricks the Internet in the comment section down below. You guys can go over to mymoviethoughts.com, follow me on Twitter, @JohnHayeck, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for tons of more posts from me. Links to all three of those are in the description down below. You guys can also like this video, comment on it, share it with some friends. I am John Hayeck, so thank you guys so much for watching.